Hi sharks, welcome back and happy spring. Today is I think it's what they call the vernal equinox. And so this is our first day of spring, and I am so happy to hear the birds chirping outside. The snow is almost completely melted from our neighborhood, and that is a good sign, and hopefully it'll stay that way. So in honor of spring and it being the first day of spring, I thought I would do a spring-like painting today. And there's one that I want to do, but I just don't have it in me today. I will show you. I pulled up these little baby ducks that I thought were just adorable. And I was thinking of doing something like that. This is the one. I want to do this in a big painting. So I'm going to save this for another day, and I'm going to do it in a larger painting. I cannot shake this pain that I've been having lately. It's just been so bad. So I thought I would just do a bird today, and then I thought about doing like a bluebird like this or something, but I really don't want to get this involved with lilacs. So today I don't think is the day. Maybe I'll change my mind, but I was thinking of doing this bird. This, I believe, is called a waxwing, but I'm not sure. If I'm wrong, forgive me. Oh, I'm sorry. I got my light on here. You can't see very well. So I thought I would do this one because it's got the cherry blossoms coming up behind it. Or maybe those are apple blossoms. That could be a crabapple tree. So it's a blossoming tree of some sort. So anyway, I thought I would go ahead and do that. And I think I'm going to go ahead and do that today in my Pentalic Aqua Journal. This is my, I think it's a 9x12. I should write it down so I don't always have to measure. It's 8.5 by 11. So, and these stickers are unrelated to the books. So if you're new to my channel, just ignore the stickers. It's just something I love to put on my books. And also, I want to tell you all, if you are familiar with James Gurney, he has a YouTube channel. And one second. If you're not familiar with him, his name is James Gurney. It's Gurney. And he is here on YouTube, and he has just started. He's a wonderful urban sketcher. He does a lot with casein and gouache. If you're not familiar with casein is another water-based medium, but the binder is a milk base rather than gum arabic or something like that. Anyway, he does a lot with gouache and casein. He also uses watercolor, and he paints in other mediums as well. But he has just released a new app, which I bought. It is in the App Store on Google and on iPhone or iPad, whatever. And it is called... Cannot connect. One second. It's called The Living Sketchbook. This is volume 1. It is his boyhood home sketchbook, and it is an app rather than like a Kindle book or something like that. But anyway, in his app, he has, and he's got a video on his channel that you can go watch about it. Actually, there's 2. It was supposed to be released on the 24th, but he released it early. He released it today, and I was one of the first to go out and buy it. I was so excited. For $4.99, it's an interactive app like a book where you go through his entire sketchbook. You can zoom in and, pinch to zoom and out, and you can look very closely at his work. He has video on some of the sketches from some of his videos that were taken on scene. And then he also has some like voiceover type things too. So rather than reading a book, you're actually listening and you can study his work. This is just volume 1. It costs $4.99, which is much cheaper than running out and buying somebody's hardcover sketchbook or even soft cover sketchbook. So I just wanted to put a plug in for James Gurney, and you guys should go out and get it. It is just a well-made app. Very nice. And I got about 4 pages in and I stopped because I want to be able to go through it tonight when I'm laying in bed. I always have trouble sleeping. So I like to watch YouTube videos at night, respond to your emails or your comments, and also watch some of my favorite YouTubers, and he is one of them. So get over to his channel. James Gurney is his name, and if you're not familiar with him, you should get familiar with him because his work is phenomenal, and his editing skills, his the work that he does, like even the opening and closing to his videos with all this gadgetry and stuff, he makes it all himself. Everything is done himself. So go check him out. Gurney. First name is James. And go get his app, Living Sketchbook, Volume 1. On Android and iPhone, iPad. So go check it out. Now, I'm going to go ahead and get painting, and I'm using my Pentalic sketchbook. This is my Pentalic Aqua Journal, and I am, if you're new to my channel again, I am sponsored by the Pentalic Corporation, and I do use their sketchbooks primarily. I will use others, but this is my go-to sketchbook. I love, love, love them. Pentalic's Aqua Journals are my favorite of all of their books, although I have bought their Midnight Sketchbook. I've bought their Nature Sketch, which is a 130-pound mixed media book, and it's 25% cotton. These are not cotton. And I also have their Watercolor Field Book, which is also 140-pound, like this is 140-pound. But these are my favorite. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to find myself something to paint here. I think I'm going to go ahead and do this bird, and I'm going to get it sketched in. I'm going to try and run this through pretty fast today because I don't want the video to get too long. So let's get to it. Today I will be working in my Daniel Smith Paints watercolors, and this is my porcelain palette. This holds 32. A lot of you were asking about it. I have not weighed this palette, but I would say it's got to be at least 10 pounds, maybe 15. It feels like 30 to me. And then I will also use my DIY watercolor palette for using some colors that I may not have in here, but I believe I should have everything here. So I'm going to go ahead and start sketching. I'm going to go ahead and do this bird today that we were talking about, and let's get started. I started this yesterday, and then I got my mail and saw that I had packages, and one of them was the pen from Tom, so I decided to use it today and make this more of a sketch rather than a regular watercolor painting. I wanted to do pen and ink with it, so that's what I did. And now I'm going to go ahead and wet down this background. I'm going to try using this brush again. We'll see if I can keep it from losing some hairs. So far, so good. This is all green in the background, so I'm not going to worry too much around the leaves, but I have a lot of pink buds and flowers on here. This is some sort of a crabapple tree, I believe, that this bird is in. So, beautiful photo. Now I'm going to add some of this color to it while it's still wet. It wasn't as wet as I thought it was. Okay, now here I'm going to mix the black, and in order to do that, I'm going to use a little bit of Payne's Gray, and I don't know if I have any indigo in this palette or not. I don't think so. Let me try some, just some ultramarine. That'll work, but I really love my indigo. I'm gonna grab my indigo over here and just add a little bit. It doesn't take much because it gives it such a deep color. Add a little more gray to it. This Payne's Gray is by Cotman. It's actually pretty good Payne's Gray. I like it because it's got blue in it. The Daniel Smith one is less blue, and I plan to buy that next because with the indigo I really don't need both. But now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to paint the face of the bird, and I'm going to get the part of the crown of his head. I got to pull my picture back up here. Okay, around his eyes. Now his eye kind of blends in with his mask, and on this side there's very little eye, if any, showing, so I'm just going to leave that for now. I don't want to put the eye in immediately because I want it to have some reflective quality with the light so that you can actually see the eye. Otherwise the eye will just disappear, so I'm going to leave it like that for now. And I will do the top of the head. Hopefully my hand isn't in the way. It probably is. Normally my camera angle is coming from the other side. So let me move this a little bit over here and then come in up from the top here. If I can, I'm just going to paint this little mask and or the cap to his hair. Right there. Went a little further down than I hoped, but this is a strange angle for me to paint at. And then he's got a lot of black on his feathers, wings here. So I'm going to paint those in, but I'm going to leave some of the area up at the top because I want to scraggle in some hairs from his feathers. And I'm going to do that by sweeping other colors in and the black in. So I'll just take a little bit of this and I'm just going to sweep it up into here. And then I want some of it to stay. I don't want it even though. I think it's got to curve up a little bit. And then down here, this area, going around these white areas that are on the tail. And then to separate the tail there, I'm going to have to go in with another layer and hopefully make it darker so that you can see it. Or maybe I can do it with ink, we'll see. Maybe some India ink, because that's very black. This comes out this way and then down this way. So you can see how long these Neptune brushes hold pigment. I've been painting this, this, and this all on the same little bit of paint. That's one of the reasons I love these brushes. Okay, and this starts to get brown underneath. So I'm going to take a little Van Dyke brown and I'm going to use a little bit of my Payne's Gray in it just to darken it a little bit more, because it's almost black. In fact, that might be a little bit too dark still. Let's see, there we go. Get a point on my brush. If you need a point on your brush, just roll it in your palette. There we go. And then it's browner down here too, and then there's white areas of circle here. These tail feathers will be easier to differentiate because I can make that color darker easily. I think this will work out too, but I'm just going to take some water though and kind of merge this white together here. I got some spots that I want to cover, except for that white. Okay. There's a little black down the back of the head that I missed, so I'm going to go back in right here. This comes down the back, sweeping down here, and then it just comes in a little bit right there. Okay, I think that's all the black, so we're done with that. was wrong. That is not a rose-breasted or not a rose-breasted, it's not that either. A cedar waxwing, because they have blue on them and they don't have that kind of a face. But I found this, and these are a type of goldfinch. This is the same bird, and they're a goldfinch. In the U.S., I don't know, maybe in the West Coast, this is what they look like. A goldfinch for me is all yellow, but this is definitely a goldfinch. That's what this bird thing says. See, there it is there. Very strange. The wings are a little bit browner but than the picture I saw, but pretty amazing, huh? I never saw a goldfinch with a red face. They do have the classic black mask, though, that a goldfinch has. And now there's a female. That's what our females look like in Michigan. But our goldfinches look very, very different, that's for sure. These are what my male goldfinches look like in Michigan. That's what they look like. They have the black on the face. Oh, this one doesn't have a mask, though. Maybe they don't all have them. Well, I guess it doesn't have a mask. I thought it wrapped around, but it does not. And there's the female. And that's what they look like in the winter. They get real dark. This is spring, obviously, because there's lilacs blooming, but they start to yellow up throughout the year. But here's some others. That is a goldfinch. What do you know? I learned something. Oh, this one's beautiful. I should have painted that one. Look at all the coloring on it. But anyway, I am all done. And this is what I came up with. So happy spring to everyone. It is definitely spring here. In fact, I was going to open my window today so I could hear the birds, even though it's cold out, but it's not real cold. It's in the 40s. I think we're supposed to get up to 51 today. So that's pretty cool. Pretty warm for us. So anyway, this is what I came up with, and I hope you all enjoyed the painting. And don't forget to be courageous, paint with wild abandon, and most of all, be kind to each other. God bless you. Bye-bye.